Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and today's car is the Porsche GT2 RS. This is the 997 version. This is the first GT2 RS we got, and this one is 2010, and it was a limited run, very exciting car. And there's a little bit of history with this car and Evo magazine, because I first got wind of it basically before anyone else. I was at a dinner in Germany, very select, just at the factory. We're actually above the museum. I was sitting next to Wolfgang Derheimer, who was head of Porsche at the time, and I just had come back from Car of the Year, and we had a regular GT2, 997 GT2, and I'd really enjoyed it on Car of the Year. And I was just mentioning this to him. I said, that must be the limit. And you just a little twinkle in his eye, and quite a lot of wine had been consumed, and he started saying, oh, I'm not sure if that is the limit. I said, oh, that's interesting. What, you can get more power from this engine than what the GT2 was saying? Oh, I think we can. I said, well, 550, and he started doing this indication. I went to 575, perhaps, and he said a bit more. I said, not 600 horsepower, and he went like this, and then winked at me and got up the table and went to talk somewhere else before he said too much. So I got wind of this, and looking back, I wrote the story on the 21st of December 2009, and we did this story. We didn't really do word exclusives of Evo magazine, but this was the story. The Porsche's Widow Maker return, over 600 horsepower was going to be. And the other thing he let slip, it was going to be manual. And that was the first time anyone knew about this car. A really exciting car, 620 horsepower, metric horsepower it came out with, 205 miles an hour. It was just streets ahead of anything else. It was a wild car. And we sent Chris Harris out to do the first drive of it. I think this issue is September 2010. So that's this car, a very exclusive Porsche, and still today it holds the accolade of being the most powerful manual gearbox Porsche ever made. Let's go and have a closer look. Now, lots of changes. I think the key thing to recognise with this GT2 RS, this was the first GT2 developed by the motorsport division at Porsche. Previous GT2s, the 996 version, had actually come from the guys looking after the 911 Turbo, and they'd done a super sporting turbo. This was the same guys working on GT3 and GT3 RS, and therefore it really upped the ante. And so basically what you're looking at is a GT3 RS chassis and even more tweaks on it, and this turbo engine, 620 horsepower. But there are some unique features on the car. This is a unique splitter. They had to do something about the downforce. They couldn't use actually the rear spoiler off the GT3 because the engine has different breeding. It needs more air feeding into it because it's 620 horsepower. Yeah, one thing there to consider, if you look at the GT3 RS compared to this is over 160 horsepower more powerful, and the torque is off the scale. So it's a very different beast. They had to do a lot of things with it, but another main thing they tried to do was to lighten it. And they all have this carbon bonnet as a signature on the GT2 RS. I'm never quite sure if it helps the styling or not, but it's sort of disguised with this one being black. But there are flashes of carbon fibre everywhere, and under here, these are actually carbon wings on it as well for lightness. You have the center lock wheels. You didn't get that on your regular GT2. Carbon mirrors, and then no sunroof and things, anything like that, but also plastic windows, so you can sort of see that move and that move as well. No rear seats, lots of lighting done there, carbon around the turbo intakes, and then round the back, this special spoiler they developed, where it's the same as on the regular GT2, but it has this extra gurney flap, extra downforce, and they really had a lot more downforce on this car than the regular GT2. And then the twin exhaust and the carbon under here. And the big change on the engine was actually variable vane turbos. They weren't known about. This is sort of first iteration of those, and that really upped the power, 80 horsepower more than the regular GT2. And the end result of all of that is the weight is a claimed 1,370 kilos, which matched the GT3 RS and was 70 kilos lighter than the regular GT2. So big changes, and I can't get over, if I just quickly open the door, There is the manual gearbox, bucket seats on this example, stripped out, very GT2-like. Anyway, there you go. There's a quick look around the car. Let's take it outside. It's been a while since I've been in a 997. Yeah, this is 2010, 15 years old, but all very familiar, as you would guess, with a Porsche. Nice layout. So nice to get back to a straightforward wheel. Alcantara in this one, the gear stick, 6-speed gear stick, handbrake, remember then? Yeah, it's funny how things have moved on. And also a plaque there saying GT2 RS limited edition, number 195 of 500. No door cars, no bins, the familiar little toggle to open the door, electric windows, got those. Not a lot else, obviously nothing in the back. This one has, well, adjustable position buckets, and they do tip so you can get access to the rear, which is good. No roll cage in the back, and then a complete lack of buttons. All I have, well, I've got a PSM, so I've got the dampers, I can go firm dampers, I've got stability control off, and stability control and traction control off. That's all the buttons in this car to control the chassis. No noisy exhaust or anything like that. And then the regular 997 infotainment and maps and things like that. And a glove box with a manual and stuff. So yeah, has that got... Now I've got to see if it's got cup holders. Yes, it's got cup holders. God, those were the days. Right, anyway, let's start up. Very sort of familiar sound. The lightweight flywheel on this example as well, just nicely. It's just, you know, smaller, it's more compact than the current 911. So nice to be in. Right, yeah, heavy clutch is first thing I notice. Into first, all easy. And there's no sort of feeling of the madness, the fireworks I've got behind me at this stage. They come later, but for the moment, yeah, I could live with this. Anyway, let's head out, go find some better roads. They have such a familiar sound, that gearbox, it just chunters when you're ticking over and just manoeuvring. They all do it, it's a GT3 sound. And we'll pull out of here, heavier steering than you expect. A little triangle, yellow triangle flashes at you, asking you to change up. Yeah, just easy performance. Maximum torque is at 2,250 RPM. It's completely different. Max torque on a GT3 was, I think, 6,750 RPM. Not so with this. This wallop, always accessible. Wallop, off you go. And yeah, I love how when I look at the dash, the speedo, well, the first increment is 25 miles an hour and then 50 and 75. It goes up in 25s because he has to go all the way to 225 miles an hour because this is a 205 mile an hour car. Mad, crazy performance. Look at that, lovely old man. Left-hand drive, early 911. But you might also pick up on quite a lot of road noise. I did measure it, it's 83, 84 decibels, so quite noisy. Absolutely, I fully expected that. You've got hardly any sound deadening for lightweight. They were really pushing the lightweightness of this car, so there's not a lot of sound deadening. There's solid engine mounts, and there is also the big Cup 2 tyres as well. So all in all, it's no surprise it's quite noisy in here. One thing you have to bear in mind with this GT2 RS, it was expensive when it was new. £164,000 at a time when the GT3 RS was just on £100,000. It's 60% more expensive than a GT3 RS. Quite an uplift, and yet in here you wouldn't really know. It's all in the hardware, it's all in that fat, it's the limited production run, and that much power, this 620 horsepower. It's such a lift over as well, GT2. It came all as a surprise, and also the amount of weight they got out of it, because you know the GT2 was two-wheel drive. It's not as though they ditched the four-wheel drive or something. It was all done with the carbon nose and the lightweight glass, and taking more sound deadening out of the car. The struggle this car at the 20-mile-an-hour limits we now have to live with in these sort of urban areas, but it's civilized and the ride quality is really almost, I'd go, exceptional for the type of car it is. It is an extreme weapon grade car, yet you can just sort of stroll through Burford, not really notice it is firm riding. It's just like a sport suspension on a regular 911, but yeah, it's nothing too bad. So yeah, I'm in second. How many revs I got? I've got 2,000 revs on the gearbox, just coming up the D-limit sign. Let's see what happens. Builds, and oh, it's 3.5. There's the traction control. Ah, yes. There, when you wake those turbos up, you just hang on and they do their stuff. I mean, it's really quite exciting. Full marks to the stability control system on this car. It hardly intervenes. Track control, yeah, it has a little effort controlling the torque when it dumps like that. But we were straight line, perfectly dry roads, and even then, it properly gets a swerve on. It's tested at, they claimed 3.5 seconds to 60. I think people got down to about 3.3. 6.5 seconds in test to 0 to 100 miles an hour. Proper performance, especially considering it was the manual gearbox. You could get better times if you had the PTK, but it was never available with that, manual only with this car. And also it did a 7:18 Nürburgring time, which again was significantly quicker than the regular GT2. But yeah, let's just try it down this road. Yeah, into second, there we go, round here, whoa, hang on, a good turning, and off we go, whoa, yes. Yeah, any slight deviation in the roads, yeah, I mean, it's only got the two-wheel drive to hang on, but with the engine at the back, I've got good traction, but there's only so much it can do. It's actually got rose joints in the rear suspension, but again, look at the ride down here. It's tremendous. It's very livable with this car. I can go up one, let's just see. Yeah, I'll put it into PSM Sport. Do you know what? That's not bad either. It's not the crazy hard suspension that we have to endure, it seems, in 2025 when people do these systems. The Sport, I'd happily use this on a road like this. Super sharp steering, but no deviation. It's good, really good. Yeah, I have to say, it's quite a surprise how civilized a package this is for such an extreme 911. Oh, it's just a twitch of the foot and you're into that boost and off it goes. Boost quite high, it's 1.6 bar boost, so it was 1.4 in a regular GT2. Yeah, I've still got it in the sport suspension, which is a surprise. Love the bucket seats and power out of there. It's not a car you can use full throttle or sort of anytime you feel like it. You have to measure it out round here, and that's part of its enjoyment. It's good round there. Wow. It just feels alive. You're part of the action. This car, you've got to be on your mettle. You cannot say, oh, the car will just sort it out. No, you have very definite input to whether you stay out the ditch or not in this car. And I'm not turning everything off. This car is actually for sale. My son, Metcalf Cars, has it in at the moment. So I'm grateful for him to be able to drive it. But it's one of those cars I'd be wary turning the traction control and stability control off on public roads. And the fact it doesn't really intervene means I just leave it on. Anyway, let's run through some likes and dislikes then with this car. I suppose, well, starting with the dislikes, I suppose one of the surprises with it is it's relatively muted. It's just, you don't get the impression I'm in a 620 horsepower sort of monster. It's strange, and when it comes on boost, there's less of the sort of turbo growl and huffing and puffing you might get in some other turbo cars. It's very civilized in that way, but you want it almost to be more leery in the sound and the sensations. 2, it's gearbox. It's quite a manual throw. It doesn't flick in and out. It's obviously survived the torque and horsepower going through it, and it just means it's slightly heavier change than you might imagine, and a heavier clutch. It's on the heavy side on the clutch, but yeah, it's not a real problem. And then 3, it always was expensive, and it was quite surprising, the 60% lift over a GT3 RS, and that's reflected in today's market. This is, you know, a £400,000 plus car. It's in the rarefied space of the limited run 911s. Anyway, coming down to my Benz, let's just try it round here. And I love, it's got carbon brakes as standard. They're good. Go around here into second, quite easily heel toe. These bends have been resurfaced and they're actually more slippery than they were before. And they are It's exciting around here, and I just loaded up around here as well. Yeah, lovely steering, hydraulic steering. Wow. Just exciting. Yeah, we're going into the positives, haven't we? I'm going to put one of the positives, civilized usability. It's off the scale. Well, you know, I mean, you can have a 911, you can have a GT3, but you do have to rev it hard to really enjoy it, to howl it, and it soon gets illegal. I love the punch of this low down. I think it suits the road car. I can see that a GT3 would probably be more fun on track, but this manual gearbox as a road car, and all the, you know, it's got the usability of a regular 911. I think that's its star quality, really. 2, I just feel part of the action. I love the clarity of the controls, like steering as well, and the way that I can use sport as I am now. I might just pop it out. Very good, the controls, and you turn off that track control at your peril. Because it's well controlled. You can do it, it becomes a Larry car if you do, but yeah, really special. So yeah, I've enjoyed revisiting a 997, and especially so this Ultimate Edition, the fastest manual gearbox Porsche ever made. It's the rise with the Carrera GT. The Carrera GT is 1780 kilos. I weighed this and it actually went 1400 kilos because it's got air conditioning, which was an option. But that's the sort of performance you have from this GT2 RS. Limited run car, most powerful manual car ever produced by Porsche, and the fastest manual Porsche as well. So great to revisit it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, well, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.